All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a full tour of the Phoenix Marine Services Port. You'll hear it called FMS. This is for all you new drivers out there, or really anyone who's just curious about how these massive places actually work. We're gonna follow a truck from the moment it enters to the moment it leaves. Okay, first things first, let's clear up some major confusion. You're gonna hear people call this port APL a lot. Look, it was renamed FMS way back in 2017, but that old name just refuses to die. So if your dispatch tells you to go to APL, just know this is where you're heading. It's the same place. So let's start the clock. We're gonna track a real trip that happened on March 30th, 2026. We'll begin right at the gate and walk through every single step to get inside. Okay, here's how it plays out. It's 8:25 a.m. and our time in the port officially starts now. First, you hit the truck scanner gateway. Pretty straightforward, just wait for that green light. Then you'll roll up to the ID checkpoint. Once they clear you, you're in. And here's a little change at that ID checkpoint that's kind of interesting. They used to have these machine card scanners, but they were always breaking down. So they've actually gone back to having real-life security guards check your driver's license and your TWIC card. Sometimes the old school way is just better. Your very first stop is the PIN unlocking area. All right, once you're past security and inside the port, you are going to come face to face with the single biggest change they've made recently. This place has gone almost completely digital, and if you're not ready for it, you're gonna have a bad time. And here it is, the most crucial thing you need to know. They do not print paper tickets anymore. This is why you have to have your phone out and ready to go. You need to take a picture of the transaction screen. I'm serious, if you miss it, you have no paper backup, and you are basically flying blind. Think of this screen as your entire mission briefing. It gives you two absolutely critical pieces of information. Number one, your exact drop-off spot. Number two, your transaction number for the app, which you'll need later. If you don't get a photo of this screen, your next stop is the trouble window, and nobody wants that. So for this trip, the screen flashes our orders, get this empty container over to spot AA210. Simple enough. After that, it tells us to head back to the staging area for our next assignment. Now, driving around this yard can feel like a giant, confusing maze. So here are a few pro tips. The blocks are usually in order, which helps, A100, then A200, and so on. But watch out for blocks C and D. They're kind of merged together with no real sign. And whatever you do, if you miss your turn, there are absolutely no U-turns in the traffic lane. You gotta do the big loop all the way around. Okay, it's 9:16 a.m. and the empty container has been dropped off. Boom, first part done. Now we head over to the staging area where the digital side of this journey really kicks in. And hey, for those of you who've been here before, some good news. The staging area has moved. The new spot has way better traffic flow, and they've even added a couple of portable potties. It's the little things, right? A definite upgrade. So, you're parked in staging, you pull out your phone, open up their app, it's called Mission Sync, and you punch in that transaction number you took a picture of earlier. Then, you wait. The system will tell you what to do next. We only had to wait a few minutes, and ping! The app gives us our next mission. The app tells us our next destination is spot DD1426. That's where we'll be picking up our loaded container. So, back into the maze we go, keeping all those pro tips in mind. So it's time to get rolling again and put those navigation skills to the test one more time. And this brings us to a golden rule inside any port. On this trip, we literally saw a crane operator have to get on the loudspeaker and tell another trucker to get out of the way. Just remember this, their equipment is bigger than yours. The giant port machines always have the right of way. Don't argue with them, just give them space. So, as soon as that little traffic jam cleared up, our loaded container got mounted. We're all secured and ready to go. The final step is just making a nice, clean exit out of the port. The exit is pretty much the entrance in reverse. You'll drive through another scanner gate, wait for the green light, and then pull over at a designated spot to lock your chassis pins down safely. And just like before, no paper, the whole transaction is zapped digitally straight to your company. Okay, so let's zoom out. From entry to exit, the whole thing was a pretty smooth operation. But what did we really learn from this trip? And was this a typical day at FMS? Well, the total time from arrival to departure, 9:25 a.m., was exactly 1 hour. Now, anyone who drives for a living knows that a 1 hour turnaround time in a port is, well, that's just fantastic. That's a perfect trip. But, and this is a really big but, we have to put this in context. The port was pretty slow that day. There weren't as many containers coming into LA County, which meant less traffic and faster service. So don't go in expecting a 1-hour trip every single time. Your mileage will definitely vary. And that really gets us to the number one takeaway from all of this. Ports are always changing something. Always. Whether it's a procedure, a location, or the technology, it's constantly evolving. And you usually don't find out what's different until you're already inside the gate. Being able to adapt is the most important skill you can have out here. So that leaves us with this final thought. Everything from the ID check to getting your orders is different today than it was a year ago. The only question that really matters is, what's going to be different the next time you pull up to those gates? Thanks for joining me on this trip.